Good morning. Good morning. You gonna make him laugh again? You're stinky?
No, I'm
a slinky?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's mine now. Now you want to get happy? Hey.
Look at you! I feel like he looks like a snowman in this outfit. Like with the buttons, he just looks like a little snowman. Really? He's found his voice. He's super loud. Yeah. Kicking his legs all over. Boo! A boo! You got your kitty? This is your sister's kitty. Oh, yummy. Yummy, eat that fluffy hair. You probably shouldn't do that. Say good morning. It's not so much the morning anymore, but we just woke up and we're about to make some breakfast. I'm gonna make the kids and myself some pancakes. I look atrocious right now. I'm going to be making the kids some pancakes, and if you guys watched I believe it was my morning routine where I was making the eggs, you could see my frying pan was absolutely disgusting and like basically unusable at that point. It was just like peeling off. So we threw that out and I ordered, there's like a new pan over there, right there. But then I also got this pack with like 3 different sizes. I'm gonna be using the other frying pan though because I have to wash the new ones. But yeah, let's make some pancakes. Okay, don't pop them down here because I don't want the baby to hear it. Go upstairs.
Aww.
Oh, Lord. That's loud.
No more. Now there is one pot. There's a tin.
Okay.
There's a pot.
Okay, you don't have to jump that high. What?
What's this shop? And there's one to white kid. I'm sorry, white kid.
Wanted my drink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just
Not nice.
two.
Now I spilled it.
I'm gonna let the sun shine in today. I'm trying to make this darkness go away. I'll paint with colors and I'll sing until my lungs give out. I'm gonna let the sun shine in today. And I will leave my windows open so that I can hear the sound of people talking.
Ooh, what is all this?
Did you take a little nap while I made the breakfast? You're such a good boy. Yeah. just fed the baby and changed his diaper. And he was laughing. He doesn't like actually being tickled. It's like a forced laugh, but he doesn't like it. You're like, Mom, stop. Stop.
So, are you ready?
Caden's being grumpy. Caden is super grumpy. There's a reason why I'm not answering. Because you're being rude. Look at this chunky baby. Look at this chunky baby. Look at this double chin baby. We were watching Home Alone 2 and Leo spit up all over me. My sleeve and pant leg is gross. I had to take his clothes off. So now I'm gonna change him into some PJs. Caden is in the bathtub because it is bath night. We bathe the kids every Sunday night. I don't think I'm gonna bathe Leo tonight though. Just Caden and Aria, and Caden's pretty much can do it himself. Aria is like a pain in the butt. Gotta wash all that hair. Do you want some clothes? Do you want to put some clothes on? But you're just so cute. Ooh. All done. Jammies. Not even 5 o'clock yet, and the sun is down, and it just makes it feel so much later than it is. So I thought we had to be like rushing around, like get the kids baths, like feed them supper, let's go to bed. They're gonna be up way too late, but it's like not even 5 o'clock. So we have time. Unfortunately though, Dan's at work, so I will be having to bathe all the kids myself and get them to bed, which is not fun. Bedtime for us has never been fun. I'm gonna make some supper and then I'm gonna talk to you guys about this little guy. He loves the kids so much. He thinks they're so funny. You gonna make him laugh? This thing's noisy.
I'm a goat.
You're a ghost or a goat?
A goat.
A what?
You say goat.
A ghost?
Yeah. Can you not see me? Now your turn. Now your turn.
My turn. I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost.
No, not this one is gone. Not this one.
I'm a goat.
Mom,
What?
you not do this one is gone.
Well, what do you want me to do?
You do a goat. Goat.
A goat?
Yeah.
Do I sound like a goat?
Yeah.
Meh.
Now my turn. I want to do unicorn. Unicorn.
Unicorns say unicorn. I didn't know that. This is pretty much how our weekends go. I don't usually get ready. I don't get dressed or anything really. We just kind of hang out. I don't go anywhere. Dan usually works. I usually just use the weekends to just like hang out, chill with the kids, catch up on laundry and dishes. This week I've kind of failed at that, but it's okay. We were watching movies, just hanging out. We had a pretty rough week, a rough couple weeks, honestly. That's why I look like this. This is why I look like 99% of the time. I don't usually get ready, put makeup on or anything like that. Just that typical mom sweats, hair up type of, that's me. That's me. Leo is sleeping beside me. As you can see by the title of this video, and probably the reason why you clicked on this video, unfortunately, it is not clickbait. It's true. He does have a skull fracture, and I'm gonna try not to cry in this video, but it's like obviously one of those things. So anyway, I'm just gonna tell you guys the story of what happened, and then I'm gonna show you guys like a reenactment with like Arya's doll, one of Arya's dolls. I think there's one in here on the floor, and show you guys what kind of happened. But basically on December 2nd, Thursday, this past Thursday, right now it's Sunday night, so on Thursday morning we were laying in bed. I picked him up to go walk to his room to change his diaper. The cats are not allowed in the bedroom at night because I do not want them jumping on him. They tend to like walk on top of him, like they just don't understand. And cats can like lay on babies' heads, and it's just like not safe. So they're not allowed in here at night, and I don't want them in my room pretty much at all anyway, because they like they're destructive. They're pretty destructive, and the one has been like having accidents all over the place, and I just didn't want them in my room. So I opened the door slightly, and the one's sitting out there and he's trying to come in, so I'm like holding Leo and I'm blocking him with my foot, trying to like kick him out of the way. Not kick him, but you know what I mean, like move him with my foot. And he runs right past me, like he runs right between my legs and goes under my bed, and I'm like, oh my god, these cats are so annoying. So I sat Leo on the bed, and again I'm gonna show you guys a reenactment so that you can understand how I sat him on the bed and like what happened. But I sat him on the bed in a way that I thought he was fine. Like I thought he wasn't going to roll off. Obviously I wouldn't have sat him there and looked away if I knew that it wasn't safe. So I sat him there just quickly so that I could get the cat out from under the bed and get him out of my room. So I sat him there, I grabbed the cat because he was just like right under there. I grabbed him, I put him out of my room. This all happened in like less than 10 seconds. I throw him out of my room, and then I hear a thud, and I turn and Leo's laying on the ground and crying, and I'm like, oh my god. I pick him up and I'm like freaking out. I immediately run downstairs. Dan's like coming running up the stairs. He grabs Leo from me and he's like, what did you do? Obviously, like I'm in like shock. I'm like, oh my god, like how did this just happen? I feel completely horrible. I'm scared for my baby. I'm like freaking out. I start crying. Dan's like comforting him. Leo luckily stops crying pretty fast. He only cried for like a minute and was okay, and was like back to his normal self. Dan changed his diaper. Dan was like, let's go to the hospital. We need to go to the hospital. Get ready, we're going to the hospital. He didn't have like any of the like signs that anything was wrong. Like he was following my finger. His pupils were the same size. He didn't have any fluid leaking from his ears or his nose. He was laughing. He was smiling. He was acting completely normal. He was eating normal. He wasn't fussy. He didn't have like an indent in his head or anything like that. And I was just like, I'm pretty sure he's okay. So Darren was like, okay, but I think we should take him to the hospital anyway. I kept going back and forth and second guessing myself. I was like, you know what, maybe he's not fine. Like, he could be acting fine, but like there could be something going on in his head. And I was just getting really nervous, and I was like, okay, maybe we should take him. Then I was like, oh, but like I really don't want to have to take him if everything's fine. Like, he seems fine. But yeah, I was just going back and forth between whether or not to take him or not, but I ultimately decided that we were going to take him because I was looking around at his head, feeling around to see if like there was anything that wasn't normal. I found this spot that was like to the back side of his head, like right here, and it felt kind of soft, like soft, slightly squishy. There wasn't like a bump or anything that I noticed, maybe slightly, but it was more so just like soft. I was unsure if it was like always like that, and I'm just like noticing now because I'm like actively trying to find something wrong with his head, or if it showed up after he fell. I was like, I don't know, but it's making me really nervous. I always like hold him like facing out and like go and like look in that circle mirror that's over there in my room so that he can see himself, because he always like smiles and he really likes that. So I was doing that, and he was like smiling, acting normal, and then I kissed the back of his head in the same spot that I've kissed him like hundreds, thousands of times. That happens to be the spot that I thought felt soft before. I instantly knew that that did not feel right, and that spot was not like that before. It felt way squishier, like it just didn't feel the same at all. So then I was like, yeah, we're going to take him to the hospital. And this was like an hour after it happened. The kids were at school when all this happened, so Dan drops Leo and I off at the emergency room. We go in and we're in the triage. I'm explaining what happened, and she's like checking him, checking his blood pressure and like all that stuff, examining his head and all that. And I was telling her like the reason we came in, like he's acting completely fine, except for I found this like spot on the back of his head that it feels kind of squishy to me. And then she's like looked back and she's like, oh my god, I didn't even notice that, thank you for pointing that out. So like it wasn't super noticeable. So I was telling her like this spot, like I'm pretty sure it wasn't like that before, I'm pretty sure it was not this soft, and I'm like, I'm kind of concerned. And then she had another I don't know who he was, some guy, she just called him over, he worked there, but some person, nurse, doctor, I don't know, he put gloves on and she's like, can you check out his head? So he felt his head, he goes, yeah, it is, I don't remember the word they used, I think it might have been boggy, I don't know exactly, but I'm just gonna say squishy because that's like, it was squishy, like your head's supposed to be hard, it was squishy. So they got us in right away. Like the ER waiting room was packed, like I didn't have a chair to sit in, there was just like kids everywhere coughing and stuff, which makes me so nervous, and I did not want him around that, which is another reason why I didn't want to take him there. But I knew we should definitely go in once I found that spot. I'm just like sitting on the ground with him in the car seat and we're just waiting, but they took us like right away. The ER doesn't go like in order of like who gets there first, they go in order of like urgency. So the fact that they took us right away made me really concerned. Like I was glad that they were taking us right away, but also just like they think something's wrong with him, and I was getting very scared. They put us into one of the rooms, they did all their like questions and like asking what happened and all of their like, hello buddy. Oh, like we did all the like, I had to explain everything about like what happened in like detail and all that stuff, how he landed, all that for this sort of thing, you would get like a CT scan to make sure like the brain isn't like bleeding out. They were really concerned about that spot, and honestly, when I first noticed it, there wasn't really a bump there. It was just so like that soft spot. By the time we got to the hospital, it had like turned into like a noticeable bump. By the time we left the hospital, it was pretty big. The bump had grown, like it was sticking out of his head. They were pretty concerned, and they kept coming in. They were talking about how like they didn't want to do a CT scan unless they felt like it was completely necessary, because the amount of radiation would not be good for his tiny little growing brain, and it could have like a negative long-lasting effect on him. So they really didn't want to do that. They wanted to avoid that as much as possible, which I completely agree. Like I definitely, like, I already let him fall off the bed. Like I didn't want to have to be the reason why he has like a ton of radiation too. So they were trying to avoid that. So they did an ultrasound first. So they ultrasound over the hematoma, which is what that bump was. It was a hematoma. And they ultrasound over it. He was screaming. I don't think he was screaming because of pain. I think he just really didn't want to be laid down. Like he wanted me to hold him, and he was just really tired at this point because he didn't really get a good nap in. He had been awake pretty much the whole time. He only slept for a short amount of time on the way to the hospital, and then we had to wake him up again. So he was just really cranky from being tired. He might have been in pain. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. He was acting completely normal and didn't act like he was in pain. So it's hard to tell, but he was just grumpy, and they were trying to like hold him still, and he hates that. He hates being held still. So they were just trying to get a good picture of it, and they left and they went to go talk to the specialist in the ultrasound, like specialist person who was there, and they came back and they were like, we think we see something, but we're not sure if it is like a suture line, which is like a normal break in the skull, because like babies' heads aren't completely like formed, so there's like natural breaks where like to make room for like their head to grow. So they didn't know if like the hematoma was just like on a suture line or if there was like a crack. I kind of figured this was gonna happen because of the fact that he was like moving so much during the first ultrasound, but they came back and they were like, can we get some more ultrasound pictures? And I was like, yeah. So this time they did it while I was feeding him, so he was pretty still, and they were able to get good pictures. And then they came back and told me that they're pretty sure that they see a fracture. And I was trying to stay so calm because I just felt like crap, honestly. Like, you don't know how, unless this sort of thing happens to you, like, you don't know how bad it feels to be the reason why your baby is hurt, even though it's an accident. But it feels really bad, and I'm still like really upset about it because like I just feel like crap. But they were trying to be like, they were trying to like comfort me and like tell me like, it's okay, like this happens, accidents happen when you have a baby, like this happens, like you'll be surprised by how many babies come in that are under 6 months old that have fallen off some piece of furniture. Accidents just happen. And they see it like multiple times like a day. So I mean, that doesn't really make me feel any better. That makes me feel sad that like this is happening to babies, and we like, but like no matter how careful you are, stuff can still happen. So yeah. So they still didn't want to do the CT scan, but they wanted to do an x-ray instead because that is like way less radiation than a CT. So we went to go get his head x-rayed, which, oh my gosh, was so sad. We didn't have to go in a tube, but it was still equally as awful because they had me hold him down, and I hate holding him down. Like, I absolutely hate being the one that's holding him down because he's just like screaming, crying, and he's looking at me like, Mom, why are you doing this to me? And I just want to like comfort him, tell him it's okay, but instead I have to use both my arms to like force him and his body to not move. And it's just like so sad, and he's never liked that. I feel like he's like claustrophobic, or something, like he's literally having a panic attack when that happens. He's never been one to like being swaddled. He needs his arms and legs like out. He needs to be able to move, and when you try and restrain him like that, he just like panics, and it's like, it breaks my heart. So I'm like trying to hold him still as like best I can, and he's just screaming, and they finally get the x-rays done. For some reason, like, he had it on this side, but when they did the x-ray, like, they did it like straight like down, and then they had the part that you think would be like up in the air for them to x-ray down to the ground, and then they x-rayed this side. I wasn't sure if that was like a mistake or not, but they came in and they told me that there was definitely a fracture in his skull. Luckily though, the bones were in the right spot and he didn't need surgery or anything like that, and it should heal on its own. So that's the good news. They sent us home. They said that if he wasn't acting normal, then they would want to do a CT scan, but he was literally acting so normal and like just playing in the hospital. He would smile at me when I took my mask off, and they gave him some Tylenol, and he was just like so fine, that they felt comfortable letting us go home. I felt comfortable going home. I really didn't want to put him through the CT scan if like he didn't need it, but the scary thing is that because we didn't get the CT scan, we don't really know what his brain looks like, so we're just kind of like hoping for the best. He's still acting fine, and it's been a couple days, so I'm just like terrified that like one of these days like he's not gonna be fine and his brain is like the injury is just gonna like show up out of nowhere and he's not gonna be fine. Like, I'm just like terrified. So I'm just been really careful with him. I've been like super like triggered by everything. Like, I can't even leave him in the middle of the bed at all. I'm gonna show you guys what happened now. Everyone else in the hospital was so nice, so understanding. I didn't feel judged at all, except for the one person that discharged us. She was rude. She was the one, I believe, they were showing the ultrasound pictures to, and like was making the decisions behind like closed doors, I guess. So she like had all the facts, but she never actually came in to like see him or anything. She's like, I guess we're not gonna be leaving the baby on the bed or any type of furniture anymore. He's just too mobile now. And I'm like, yeah, but like, did you even hear what happened? Because I didn't leave him on the bed and he's not mobile. He didn't roll off the bed. I know like he rolled off the bed, but he hasn't rolled over by himself yet. Like, you'll see when I show you, but it was just like, that's not even what happened, but okay, judge me like that. I open the door, cat runs in, goes under the bed. I'm like, oh my goodness. So there was a blanket here like this, I set Leo like that, okay? I didn't lay him like this because that obviously would mean he would roll off the bed. I sat him like this. His head was up here, his feet were here. And then I went to grab the cat out from under the bed. Oh, there is a cat. And then I throw him out, and then I go here, and Leo is right there. That far away from the bed, like right there. I didn't see exactly what happened, but I'm assuming because there was a blanket here, it was uneven, so he was able to slide off the blanket and then roll and then land on the ground like that. If the blanket wasn't there and I just laid him flat, he definitely would not have fell. But because there was a blanket that I laid him on, he was able to like slide off and roll. Yeah. So that is what happened. He has a fractured skull. I'm pretty sure it's mild because they let us go home and like they said it should heal on its own within like 4 to 6 weeks. And then in 2 months we have an appointment with the neurosurgeon, not to have surgery, but just to like make sure that he like has healed properly and everything's still good, but it should heal on its own. I just have to be extra careful with him and make sure that he does not fall on his head again, because that could be very, very bad. You don't want to fall when you're already injured. But thankfully he's good. As you can see, like he's been fine. He's been acting completely normal. But yeah, I just want to update you guys and let you know.
Leo. Hi. Hi, don't look at the camera. Look at me. Hi. Whoa, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Boo. Leo. 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 I love you. Hey, I love you. I love you. Every single time the camera's on. Every single time. I know. Where are you going? Whoa. Babe, be careful. You need to be careful. Yes, you do. Whoa!
I will listen to the ocean, let its unsaid words be spoken.